Hey everyone. I'm in Albany and I'm so exhausted. I can just not even. Yeah. But I definitely wanted to make a video today, so I'm doing it from a half asleep position. My high today, I actually decided that I wanted to stay in Northampton a little bit longer. So I decided that I would spend the day there because I had access to Kate's studio where I could do some work, and Saili and I could actually work on our piece for Albany Symphony together. So I decided that I was going to work all day, both by myself and with Saili, and then we'd rent the car in the evening and leave. And my high is that we got a lot of really good work done, and working with her on this piece actually made me feel much more confident about how it's going to sound and stuff. So I feel really good about where it's going, and having her input definitely makes the piece a lot better and a lot more idiomatic for her. So that was really good. The low, oh my god, there were lows today. I think I've been kind of reprieved of some of the low lows, but today so I decided that I was going to rent this car later. So I couldn't get a hold of the rental place, and then so I decided I was going to go and start working. And then basically, like, the rental place closed at 1. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get like an hour of work. And then I'm going to go and walk over to this rental place, which, I'd mapped out on Google Maps and was like less than a mile away. And I was like, okay, I can just walk, no big deal. So I got like pretty close, like a couple blocks away. And I was like, oh, I'm almost there. There's like a Subway sandwiches. I'm just going to go grab a quick sandwich and then, go and walk to this rental place. And it turns out that there was it wasn't where it said it was, and it was actually 2 more miles away almost. And so the rental place, it turned out, closed in 20 minutes from the time that I was leaving this sandwich place. And oh my god, I had to run down the street just to barely make it in time before the rental place closed. And I was like on the phone with them, and they weren't picking up the phone. And it was just a whole fiasco where I thought, oh my gosh, did I mess this up, so that when I finally go and get there, we're not going to be able to make it to Albany. It was really stressful. And yeah, so that was kind of my low. And I mean, I ran 3 miles today, but in boots that now have socks that have like a crazy hole in the bottom of them, and I have blisters all over my feet. And it was just, this thing where I had wanted to spend the day like really deeply invested in the piece, and while I got to do that, it was just fiasco. So yeah, that was low. I think I'm glad I did. I don't know. I'm glad I stayed. I'm glad I stayed, and I'm glad I worked. Because I think if we had come to Albany earlier, there wouldn't have been anything for us to do, and there wouldn't have been the same facilities for us to work, because there was like actually a piano there. And I mean, it's like, it's not. I travel with a little travel keyboard, which I'll show you at some point, but it's not the same as having a whole piano to work on and being in a studio setup, obviously. So I'm glad that I made that call. But regrets. I think sometimes I'm so busy that I don't really plan my day ahead of time. Like, I don't go through everything and I'm like, okay, where do I need to be at this point in the day? Like, what do I need to be doing? Whatever. And sometimes I think when I'm at a university and like they give me a schedule and I just follow that schedule, it's super easy. But then on days where I'm in between things, where one person is managing one thing and like a different organization is managing the end of my day, and I have to get myself from one place to another, I have to be so intentional about like making sure that I actually do what I need to do to get myself there, and make sure I have enough time, and make sure, all the logistics are taken care of. And I just didn't do that. And, it's hard because, the thing that I should be saying is like, oh, I should have taken more time to do this, or I should have allotted more time for XYZ. But the point is that, sometimes it's just not possible to do that when you're traveling. You just have to do things on the fly and hope things work out. But I tend to, you know, I can keep my stress at bay when things are going okay, but like when one thing gets out of whack like this on a trip, you know, and then you're like, oh my gosh, the whole trip is going to get thrown off if this one thing doesn't work. I mean, yeah, it can just make my stress levels go through the roof. And I mean, I was so stressed out. My jaw is hurting because I mean, I was just clenching my jaw probably for hours after that. I couldn't quite relax. So, but it was nice that I got to, I mean, like obviously Saili is with me, and she's in Albany here for this gig that's coming up, which I'll tell you more about tomorrow when have a brain in my head. But yeah, so all's well that ends well. We had a really long drive to Albany. As I know you can tell, I'm like just exhausted beyond belief because after hours and hours of, after this whole fiasco, we rehearsed the piece for, I don't know, upwards of 5 hours or something. We went through literally everything, and then went to dinner and then drove here. And now it's like probably 11 o'clock at night, and I've just been driving for a couple of hours. And yeah, so a crazy day, but I think it'll be worth it to be here. And honestly, it's really nice that Albany is the last city on my trip. Because it's a city that I've been to so many times. I was in residence here last year, so I was here like 3, 4 times last year, and I've been here like a number of times before that too. So I would say this is maybe my seventh or eighth visit to Albany. So it's like I definitely know the city really well. I know the places that we go, and it's going to be really nice to have an event for the Indian community here in preparation for the piece that I'm coming back for in June. So anyway, yay. I'm going to end it here. This is a pretty short video, but as you can tell, I have limited space in my head to have thoughts or form sentences. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.